Hey everybody, Ryan Stanley, headmaster of Mindset here, Teach Me to Sell, back with another mindset tip video. Today's mindset tip is more of a question than it is a tip. And my question to you today is, what is your definition of adventure? And I ask that question because every day is an opportunity for us to choose our own adventure. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that, especially when we're caught in the rat race of life in certain situations. But if you could actually ask yourself that question as you start each day, ask yourself that question as you sit down to your desk to take sales calls, to check your emails, to start your professional day. And if you work in the evenings, to start your professional evening. What is the definition of adventure? How can I make this moment an adventure? How can I be curious curious about the unknown? How can I treat my every single day, instead of it letting it be this monotonous thing that I feel like I do the same thing every single day? How can I let it be an adventure? And the first way to do that is to get curious as to what is the definition of adventure. An adventure can be something that is thrilling. It can be something that is exciting. It can be, a lot of the time, it is based on the unknown because you don't know what's going to happen next, and that's why it's an adventure. And if you feel like every day is the same thing, how can you shift your mindset to be more one that's curious and open to the adventure of life, and to recognize that each moment is a gift and every conversation you have is a gift? How can I make this next conversation an adventure? How can I add something fun for me, even on a subliminal basis? I know I used to love watching Gary Vaynerchuk when he first started showing up on television interviews. Before he would go on, he would send tweets out saying, what's something that I can add to this conversation, like a secret Easter egg? I will say it, but only people on Twitter will know that I'm saying it, as opposed to the person who's interviewing me. How can you add your own Easter eggs into your sales conversations? How can you create gratitude in moments of stress and overwhelm to kind of shift your energy to make it more of an adventure? How can you recognize that life is an adventure and that you have a choice in deciding how you want to feel every single day and every single moment? Adventures include alligators and they include snakes, but doesn't mean they also don't include beautiful rivers and rainbows, right? I'm talking, this is a traveling through the jungle metaphor, in case you didn't figure that part out. So my point is when you step into your day, any day, whether it be Monday, Tuesday, I think there's 7 altogether that you can choose from. Whatever day you are stepping into, even on the weekends, if you recognize that life is an adventure and you have the opportunity to choose how you want to show up for that adventure more often than not, and you get curious as to what does adventure mean to me, and you've decided, if you make the time to decide that life is an adventure, life is a gift, right? We never know where it's actually going to go. When we spend too much time staring at the past and staring at the monotony of what was before today, then the adventure becomes pretty dull. And so we have the responsibility, in some perspectives, to choose to create an adventure and to accept and to respect the adventure of life, and to see, how can I challenge myself today? How can I be more of who I wanted to be yesterday? How can I take advantage of this adventure called life to create whatever I want to? How can I add something fun and exciting to my day? How can I be curious about who I can be tomorrow? What is my responsibility of survival in this adventure? Now, I've talked a lot of times in the past about the difference between coping and creating. And so I'm not saying that life is something to survive through. I am saying that you can have fun with it, though. And if you were to imagine yourself trapped on an island or lost in the jungle, if you were to compare your life to that one of those scenarios, and instead of it being this terrible thing where I'm just surviving, this is an adventure, and I get to choose who I want to be during it. It's like that game, it wasn't a game, it was a movie based on the game Jumanji, and where all the characters get thrown into this jungle, and it is an adventure, right? And they didn't necessarily know what they were getting into when they got there, but they're there. And so that could be you every day if you wanted to. You don't necessarily know what you got into, but it doesn't mean that it has to be the exact same thing as you did yesterday. Choose to come at life from the viewpoint of how can I make this the most fulfilling and exciting adventure possible? You have a choice in every single moment to decide who you want to be and do something about it. Remind yourself of that. Remind yourself of where you want to go. What does the end of this adventure potentially look like? What is my goal for today? How can I enjoy the journey as much as possible, but also be excited and curious so that tomorrow can be a little bit different? I hope this was helpful. Think about this after you get off the phone. In fact, don't even think about it. If you want to, leave in the comments below. I'd love for you to let me know what your definition of adventure is. And if this made any sense to you, if this was helpful to you. How do you see adventure? How do you see the definition or your definition of adventure falling into place in what you do every day. Again, as a salesperson, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a human being, how do you utilize your awareness of the definition of adventure to have a more exciting and fulfilling life? Appreciate your time. As always, if you're getting something out of this, subscribe. There's a lot more coming. We've got sales tips. We've got mindset tips. We've got education on sales and mindset. In fact, if you look at this video right here, this is a great video on mindset. And actually this one over here is a great video on sales, sales philosophy. So take a look at that one as well. And we hope to see you next time. Thanks for being you.